Let's turn to the other big diplomatic story, and it's not a story of hope, that of 21-year-old Nitin Garg, who was beaten, abused and then killed. Even so, the Australian police continuing to downplay whether the murder of that Indian student in Melbourne was a racist attack.
Well, they say it's not a racist attack. Altamash Hashmi gets us the latest.
We are an accepting, tolerant, multicultural nation. We've got no toleration for racism in any form.
A bold defence by Australia's Deputy Prime Minister after 21-year-old Nitin Garg was stabbed to death on his way to work in Melbourne. Surprisingly, the Australian police downplayed any racist angle to the attack, saying it's the kind of job that Indian students do, put them in such a situation. But anger in India is on the rise.
If more attacks of this nature continue to take place in Australia, then Government of India will have to seriously think as to what other courses of action that lie with Government of India.
This was the first such attack in 2010. But in 2009, some 500 Indian students became victims of attacks in Australia. Tourism Australia itself calculated that this situation will result in 4,000 fewer Indian students to go to Australia. The fall in number could cost them $70 million in revenue.
There were 1,447 crimes against Indians last year. That's about average 5 a day. That's a lot for a city where there is not a lot of Indians.
The government says it's doing all it can, increasing punishment for hate crimes and doubling the police force in the worst hit state of Victoria. But all those measures came too little and far too late to save the life of this young man in Australia and crush the dreams of his family in India. In New Delhi, Altamash Hashmi.